as you can see. When we first started as a group, we were called Young News. I don't know why the name came to mind. I just thought it sounded cool. But then, like, as the years went by, 2004, we came up with House of Chaos to kind of go with the Chaotic name. And I've always wanted my own company logo for me, Stephen, and Freddie, who are part of my crew. Shout out to them, to be part of my studio. So what we did is we just got this piece of wood and we painted it. It's not really wood, but it's kind of like a flexi kind of material. And my mother, God bless her heart, shout out to her, got these letters, and I was like, we just put HOC Entertainment on here. And the 89, in case you're wondering, means my birth year. The majority of our birth years as a company. So there you go, a little bit of sage knowledge for you. Check that out. Right, okay. You can ask me stuff whenever you feel like. Should we start off by saying hello to each other? We're good? We're recording?
Yeah, we're recording.
Oh, good, cool. Thank you, man. Okay. So we're going to do a little run through and kind of break down some things. So feel free to ask me questions as we go, and we'll kind of work from there.
Hello, Khaotic. Good to have you here.
Hello, how you doing this video?
I'm fine. So, just tell me more about, I suppose, just how you got started, how you got influenced to make the music that you make before we look into your album itself.
Yeah, let's do that. That sounds like fun. Right, so first things first, we're in my home studio, which we built. I started building in 2015, but we originally started making music 2002. We were out the backyard of my house. It was me, my good friend Stephen, my good friend Freddie Krugs, who's a producer and guitarist who helps us mix our songs. We started off just hanging out the back, and Freddie had a CD player, right? And it had Devil's Night, D12 album, Eminem's group, and he was just letting us listen to songs, and we liked some Eminem stuff and all that. And then I think we were joking about, oh, wouldn't it be cool to see what it'd be like to write rap songs and what have you. So me and Stephen started practicing it. Stephen got a better structure of learning how to write a song better than I did, so I kind of learned from him, and it kind of just went from there. And then we just kind of just started listening and digesting more hip hop from. I want to say the basic list was Eminem, Jay-Z, Nas, Tupac, and Biggie. They were kind of like the go-to ones. And as the years went by, we just progressed and just got better with our writing. So that's pretty much how it all started. So yeah, there you go. That's the answer for you.
And the name Khaotic, where does that come from?
The name Khaotic comes from, I was telling my brother about this either earlier or yesterday. I can't exactly remember. I've got a short-term memory. But basically, in a nutshell, we were trying to think of stage names for us, and I was going to just go by the name of Aaron Lewis. There's already a singer, member of the band Stain, called Aaron Lewis. And I wanted to have a stage name that differentiates my alter ego from me. So what I did was, me and Stephen were having this conversation. I remember it was warm weather. I was on this little bit of pavement outside my house. We used to call it the Whitey. All the kids used to call it the Whitey because it was kind of like a white colour. I don't know, it sounds racist, but ignore it anyway. And I was out there, and I remember I was saying goodbye to Stephen. He was going home at this point. It was like afternoon time, and I just couldn't think of anything. I think we'd established Stephen's stage name, which was Sinister S, but I couldn't establish mine, and I thought, what the hell is my stage name going to be? And I just remember after I'd said goodbye to him, I put my head down. I was on my BMX, which I love BMXing. I'll talk more about that one day, I'm sure, in my music. And I put my head down kind of like that on the handlebars. I was kind of like stressed out because I just really wanted to take this rap thing seriously, 2002, 2003, whenever it is by this point. And I kind of lifted my head up, opened my eyes, moved my arm, and I looked down. And on like the crossbar of my BMX, it said the word Khaotic with a K. And that was like a sign for fucking God right there. That should be my stage name, and it's been since 2002. So yeah, I've had it for about 19 going on 20 years, so that's where I got the name from.
So now this project itself, I know that it's been a bit of a long gestation for it. You know, it's been through some changes. I just wanted to see if we could have a brief kind of like overview about the songs that you have on it and why those ones in particular made it onto the project.
Right, well, before we like break the tracks down, and I'll try to do that very quickly. Basically, I was telling my brother about this, that I think in 2011, I started slowing down writing songs, just mental health, and just kind of got tired because me and Stephen had written about 30, 40 albums between ourselves, group projects, and other people we were supposed to be working with. But basically, I started making a mixtape, which was like 16 songs. I think there was some skits on it of other people's beats and stuff. And I took a picture of myself, and let's just say that there was some smoke involved in the picture. And I showed it to my friend, and he said, "Oh, you should call that Out of the Smoke Rises." So that became the project title. But the more and more I started working on it and chopping and changing songs and track titles and that, it got shorter and shorter, and it went from being a mixtape of other people's music to my own music when we started self-producing in September 2016. And then just the name Khaotic Made Me Do It just kind of just became, it took on a life itself. It became a bit better than what I thought Out the Smoke Rises was. And I think Khaotic Made Me Do It works because it's like a play on of when somebody blames somebody else, like the devil or some other, whatever the fuck it might be, whatever other things go on in their life and they don't want to take responsibility. Khaotic Made Me Do It is kind of like my alter ego is making me make this music, but he's also kind of making me kind of be a bit, I guess, cheeky and kind of naughty a little bit. But on the flip side, Khaotic Made Me Do It's like the driving force, because the Khaotic side of me is what's made me want to push forward with the music, and it's kind of like an escape for me and my friends when we're making music. So that's kind of what it is. But the songs that I've got, the majority of them were newer ones I worked on over the years, but Therapy and stuff like that are really old ones from 2011. They've just been tweaked a little bit. And I went with the songs that I went with because I wanted to kind of give you an album of kind of a hodgepodge of everything to kind of get you started. Just a little taster of that, because on the later project, stuff's going to get a bit more personal in what we talk about and that. So that's kind of why I went with the songs I went with, and we'll break them down shortly.
So yeah, shall we just start to go through that now? Just quickly have a look at the songs you have on your project.
Let's do it. That'd be fun. Right, should we start with track 1 then?
Yeah, sounds like a good place to start.
Forgive Me was one of the earliest songs I'd made the beat of. It's one of the songs that Stephen knows I kept going back and tweaking just for certain words here and lines here and there, just to make the flow a bit better. It was kind of interesting for me as well, because when we did it, I went back to the beat and I added other like keys and pianos and stuff at the midway sections of certain verses. And the end of the song has such a build up that I went and added these strings at the end of the song. I put them at the beginning. So now the song sounds even more bigger and eventful. And basically when I did that, the song just kind of came together. The chorus, choir, and that, it kind of has this sort of like churchy feel to me, but it's also quite a dark song. So it kind of goes into not religious rap really, but it kind of falls into that. And then we kind of go with the whole concept of selling your soul whilst you're also struggling with whatever you're struggling in your personal life, which I talk about. And obviously meeting up with the devil, and it's obviously a metaphor for selling your soul. So that's kind of where the first song comes together. And yeah, I had fun writing, recording, putting that together. It's a song that I had Freddie mix a million times because bits weren't always perfectly tweaked. Bits weren't always in the perfect place. Some bits weren't as loud, and he must have got frustrated as fucking hell with me. But we did it, and it came together, and I'm proud of that song. And it's probably the best put together song on the album, if I'm being honest with you.
And then the next song is a Therapy, right?
Therapy started off, yeah, it is. Therapy's track 2. It started off as a song. I can't remember what the beat was. It was a beat made by a guy on YouTube, and it used the whoever the song is by, I've forgotten the band's name, but it's a song Heal Your Pain. It's a song that was in, believe it or not, Twilight, but the guy had sampled a part of this chorus from this band and put it to his beat. So I wrote this song about hip hop, or just music in general, being therapeutic to me, because I've grown up around music all my life. My mum's played various different artists, me and my friends are into different artists. So I just went and tweaked it and changed up little bits. And once again, it was another one of the earliest beats I worked on. And it had some really cool lyrics in it as well. Even if most of it's old, I say stuff like, itchy trigger finger whenever I pick a pen up. And I say stuff like, I use it to build empires in my sandpit. It's such a quintessential opening first single type track. That's why it has to be like the first video to this project, because there's not many other songs that are better to be a first single besides Therapy. So yeah, I'm kind of proud of that one. It's quite a good one.
And then next up on your project,
Carpe Noctem, right? So now this was kind of like a satire on club songs. It was the last beat I think I made for the album, and the intention wasn't to really make club songs. I don't really think I fit the whole club stereotypical kind of genre. But when I go back to rappers like Redman and Ludacris and 50 Cent and stuff that they made, Carpe Nocturne kind of takes me back to those kind of days, the early 2000s, when the hip hop had all the clubby songs. So I was kind of doing that. It's supposed to be like a satire on that. And that's why you get us joking about zeitgeists and me spinning from ceiling fans and shit like that in the song. It was a fun song to make. I loved the brooding beat. I loved adding guitars to it. I did that for my friend Freddie because he plays guitar. And I want to do a remix of that song, the Midnight Society remix, which will have Sinister S on it. So that will be a follow-up at some point down the line. And you can hold me to that because I've said it on camera now, so it shouldn't be forgotten.
And then Tracy is a bit more of a storytelling.
We've got the radio interlude thing, and then like that, then Tracy,
Well,
sorry. But we'll come back to it, we'll come back to that. So we had the radio skit, which was basically just trying to kind of just do a skit that sounds like we've got a person that's on radio, essentially, and got a friend to do it, gave him a rough outline, and he went with it, and it's hilarious, and we love it. And then the track after that is Like That, which is kind of continues on in that vein of kind of being funny, I guess, satirical. Like That is just a rap song, just flexing the rapper skills with a few name drops of Ed Sheeran, Adele, and Taylor Swift in there. But it's got an Indian flavour to it, and it was the first beat I made in September of 2016. So it definitely was a fun one. And the first time I started putting it together, I felt like Dr. Dre or Timberlake. I was like, yeah, I know how to produce a beat. I'm going to start sending them to my friends now. But Like That was a fun one. You got a little breakdown of the bit of the song. And yeah, if Taylor Swift ever hears the song, hit me up for a feature.
And then Tracy.
Tracy. Right. Tracy's going to be one of the most interesting ones because we were talking about Aaron Lewis, Stained, and all that. The original song was when I started writing Tracy, so I was influenced by a song that Will Smith wrote called Loretta, which is supposed to be about a fan of his. I don't know if it's supposed to be a true story, he says it was. But I wanted to write a song a bit like that, which kind of also tackled kind of like the fan bases of fans of like musicians and bands and that are kind of a bit too frantic on social media, let's put it that way. And I was originally writing it to Outside by Stained because it was going to be over that beat. So the chorus, when they say I'm on the outside, I'm looking in, it made me think it sounds a bit stalkerish a little bit. So then we kind of just came up with a name, Tracy. I think it rhymed also with Tracy, she was only 18. And then I went and fleshed the song out a bit more. Bits kept changing, we had to build a chorus for it. The beat changed, it's kind of got this sort of like wintry, trudging through snow, rain type kind of vibe to it. And then obviously we went and added sounds and all that. There's like a gunshot effect in the song, which is really cool because I made that out of a drum sound I used in therapy, but it's just slowed down. So it sounds like a gunshot. So there you go, there's some more insider stuff. But Tracy's a good one because it's one of the two storytelling songs specifically on the album. We'll get to the other one afterwards.
Then Chaos and Sin.
Chaos and Sin is track 7, right? Of 12, and it features my bestie, Sinister S. It's called Chaos and Sin. It sounds biblical. The beat sounds like something you'd hear during World War III. And it's the most grimiest song that Freddie Krug's said to me. It's the most grimiest song on the album. And it's literally just a posse cut. It's literally just me and S flexing our lyrical skills. And I couldn't think of a better way or a better song to put S on for the album because not only did he ran the song out with a really great verse, which was part of a freestyle we wrote called Get 'Em back in the day, which I'm sure we'll go over parts of that again one day. It just complements my verse so well. We have this kind of aggressiveness in the lyricism, but also S's verse is a bit more smoother because he's more methodical in how he approaches stuff, whereas me, I'm a bit more kind of in your face, a bit more, there's a bit more, I guess, a bit more aggression, a bit more bite or whatever you want to call it. But I love that song. I love the background, little like voices that kind of like change pitch kind of as it goes on. It's a straightforward grime track essentially, and that will be one of the singles. Hopefully it will be the second single after Therapy, so we'll see where we go with that because we've got to still work on stuff. But yeah, I love that song. It's one of my favorites, and when I made the beat, couldn't stop listening to it. It's brilliant.
And then we have a brief interlude before we go into True Love.
Yeah, I almost forgot. Yeah, so Childhood was one of the ones I actually played more the keys. It's just 3 notes, and it's what it is. It's 3 notes on top of each other with the same 3 notes again, but one goes faster and one goes slower, so they kind of move away from each other as it goes on. And Childhood's just got this sort of like this sort of melodic beat where it just sounds a bit childlike. There's a guy I know called Aaron who said it was a bit Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and it's supposed to be childlike, so it kind of like it makes sense. And yeah, it's just one of those little interludes. I didn't know if I should make it longer or not, if I should make it into a song or not, because I was just kind of starting at producing. But it's the perfect song to kind of sit there and reflect on childhood, growth, improvement, where we're at, where we were, and kind of just go from there. And it's a nice little slide into the next song to have a bit of a break from the whole griminess of what was Chaos and Sin. So there's that.
And then True Love.
True Love was a song that I wrote called Chasing Your Radiance. It was just a love song I wrote, and it's just a super lyrical song, as Stephen will tell me. And I remember also I wrote it down, I got down to like the fine line, because I wrote it and then I was travelling back to London to see my uncle to see him for his birthday. And Stephen actually printed the song. This is back when we used to print songs. Stephen printed the song, actually came and brought it to me within that same evening, like less than a few hours after I wrote it. But yeah, it just changed over a period of time. One of the samples I was using was actually called True Love, so that's where the name comes from. And yeah, it's a lyrical song, but it's one of the kindest, nicest, smoother songs, because the majority of the project is a bit darker. You have the nice little chorus, you have the fast verses, you've got the guitars and all that lovely stuff going on. You've got the little voice note at the end of it. It's probably one of my favourite songs, just because it's one of the more gentler sides you see of me. And hopefully you will see more heartfelt stuff like that as it goes on, but it'll be a bit more deeper and personal, because I think True Love just barely scratches the surface of what we're capable of.
And next is Stand Up Proud.
Stand Up Proud is once again an old song which was called Hometown, which once again there was a beat that Big Crit had, and I think somebody had remade it or remixed it, whatever it was, with the Hometown Glory Adele sample on it. And when I originally wrote it, it was a bit more of a dark, depressing song about all these struggles I was going through. But then eventually I just didn't end up using that, and I started working on this beat that had strings to it, and I reworked the song. I reworked lyrics, changed things, added more lines into the song, added some guitars, added more instruments to like the chorus. So then, because it was just one big loop at one point, so we just kind of switched it up. And as I said to my brother, it sounds a bit piratey, a bit sea shanty, I don't know. And it's a great song, because I also got my brother and Stephen to actually do background choruses on the final choruses to kind of make it bigger and broader. And you've got the beat switch ups as well. There's bits where I take the drums out, and you get different drums, and you've got slowed down drums. It's a hodgepodge of a whole lot of stuff going on, but it's supposed to be a kind of like a momentous moment of just kind of getting into a better headspace, essentially. And I love that, and that'll be another single, hopefully, with a video to it.
And then Soldier of Fortune.
Soldier of Fortune is a personal song for me, because I don't want to spoil the twist of it, but it's loosely based on a real story. There's obviously some bits that are going to be a bit kind of, take with a pinch of salt, because I was kind of filling in the spaces of the person that was actually in that real life situation, who's sadly no longer here, who passed away in 2001, RIP. But it was just a kind of a fun concept song. Originally it was just a straightforward beat with pianos and guitar, and I didn't know whether to make it kind of like an angsty song or whether to go with a storytelling song. I just knew it was going to just be one contained story in one, almost like a freestyle, if you will. I was asked by a person that I know if I freestyled all of it. I didn't, but it sounds like I did. And yeah, no, it's an epic song. You've got sound effects and all that stuff. And when you get to the twist at the end of it, hopefully it'll make people stop and think a little bit. But I really hope that people actually do read the lyrics to it, because it's a song that's near and dear to my heart. And yeah, I love it. It's brilliant.
And then you close off with Balefire.
Balefire, once again, I can't remember. It might be like the midway point we made the beat to it, and we had these guitars and we had the bass and these drums. And it was very straightforward, like Stand Up Proud. And I had a song called Dead or Alive, which was once again to a beat by, I think it was Beanie Siegel, I think it was. Dead or Alive, which had the Bon Jovi sample in it. That's what I originally went over. But I went and changed lyrics, dropped the beat, came up with Balefire, retweaked bits, added other lyrics to it, and it just started to work a bit better, because it's kind of like a garagey rock sort of song. It's the closest we get to rock on the album to kind of close out the album. And I went and added these shakers to it, because I felt that the song needed a bit more oomph to it. But my friend Freddie, who started learning how to play guitar, I asked him, I don't have a feature from you on the album, and he doesn't do vocals, he just does producing, mixing and playing guitar and keyboards and that. So I said to him, do you want to do the guitar, like a guitar solo on there, if we can fit one on there? and that way you get a feature on the album. And he said, yeah, sure. And I left it with him. We took a little bit of a while because we go back and forth with music. And then he sent me this snippet of this sample, and it just sounded brilliant. For a guy that's beginning, like, it was fantastic. It sounded like fucking Slash was playing the guitar. So we had the samples during the final choruses, and we have it again during the end of the song, and it kind of just came together. And it's a dope song because you've got all these really cool moments on it, where I mentioned about the Balefire, Raise Hell like Hellsire. I say all these cool things that rhyme with it, shine bright like the bat signal when it's held skyward. It's a triumphant song, it's a pump-up song, it's a song you can work out to. And that's kind of what we're going for. I was trying to differentiate a bit from Stand Up Proud. But I think it's a rocking tune, and hopefully it's a good way to close up the album, because there's more to come. And there will be more rock-influenced stuff with guitar solos from Freddie, definitely, absolutely. But yeah, that's basically it. That's the entire album, essentially, in a nutshell. I hope that was fast enough.
Is there anything that you want, anything in particular you want people to take from this project, listening to it?
I mean, it's a demo, so don't go into expecting like the greatest stuff of all time. Obviously, you can see the lyricisms there. You can see I pull from certain influences. You can see that there's stuff we still need to work on and iron out. So just bear with us, because we've got other projects we're working on, other songs and that. But I just hope people enjoy it. And if you have a favourite song, let me know. Obviously, you can find me on my social medias. If you don't, and you don't enjoy it, or you just listen to one song and it's not really your cup of tea, that's completely fine as well. I worked on this project off and on since September 2016 when it became KMMDI Do It. So I'm just hoping that somebody will appreciate it when it's out there. And yeah, I just hope you'll follow me along on this journey. Me and the House of Chaos, Freddie Krug's Sinister S, and everybody else is involved, including my brother who helps out with lots of camera work and behind the scenes stuff. So yeah, no, I appreciate everybody watching, everybody listening. We'll see you next time, yeah?